switching a little bit of the context.
So last week we had a graduation party to 19 new members of the Subspace Ambassadors, and I'd like to congratulate each and every one of you with the start of your new, very interesting journey. During the last 2 months, you've been actively involved in educational process. You learned a lot of new information about subspace and blockchains in general. Got to know team members as well as some other ambassadors, and of course worked on your personal projects. And now it's time for you to join the existing teams to help shape the project with a focus on the community help, farmer support, content creation, new ambassadors selection and mentorship. So I wish every one of you like best of luck, and looking forward to working with each of you and chatting with each of you later. And with the next, with the previous cohort graduation, we're now accepting new ambassadors. And the forum is open until October 20th. So it's like 6 days left until the forms will be closed. And last time we had more than 1,600 applicants and only 25 were selected. And this time we're planning to double the amount of apprentice ambassadors. And going forward, by the end of 2023, we plan to onboard hundreds of new ambassadors who will be helping and shaping the project in different many aspects. So if you're excited to join, please feel free to submit the form, and of course all of the rewards and all of the information about the why you might want to become an ambassador is also open to the public. So you can just follow the links to the Notion and to see like what it means being an ambassador, how many time you will be devoting to the project, and what areas are there, what are the areas you can help us with. So yeah, as I mentioned, there is not a lot of time left, about a week until the forum is closed. So do a bit of research, and if you decided to join us, we'll be happy to have you on board as well.
Yeah, and if I could just sneak in real quick, Emil, I want to direct everybody's attention. If you look right under Emil's beautiful face, you'll see something that says Ambassador Application, and if you click on that, that is the form. So if you'd like to check that out while he's talking, I'll leave it there for a little bit, exactly where he just pointed, and I'll let Emil move on to his next topic.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Yeah, and now it's time for the lead ambassadors to share their updates. So now they will share what they've been working on during the last month and share some of the plans for the upcoming months. Mike, would you like to start?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I will just share your slides. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So as Emil said before earlier, I am one of the lead ambassadors specifically for the support side. So we try to support in any way we can. We have some very technical members. We have some members that are just very nice and helpful. But either way, we have a ton of support members. I think we're probably the largest subsection of ambassadors so far. So without further ado, let's talk about the support section. So just really quick, again, I want to remind people how you can identify maybe some layers of support. On the forum, it'll say support L1. That means usually ambassadors, us guys that can help you. You can tag at support L1 on the forum, and one of us will try to reach out to you. A lot of the times, we've seen the answer so many times, we can just help you. But if we can't, we can escalate it to an L2, which would be like a developer or a team member. And as long as we, just as a community, do a good job of filtering questions, so they're not getting bogged down by easily answerable questions or ones that we already know, then those super important ones or ones that haven't been solved yet, they can easily identify. Again, on Discord, you can tag lead ambassador or ambassador. Apprentice ambassador is usually for those that are not quite ambassadors yet, but they've been accepted into the program. So just because they're apprentice ambassadors, we had some fantastic new ambassadors come in that are very knowledgeable. They've been with Subspace for a long time, so you can always ask them. And then on Telegram, you can see the ambassador tag next to one of our names. Okay. We also have moderators. They primarily deal with if somebody's harassing you, trying to scam, stuff like that. You could just tag at moderator. Okay. Go to the next slide, please. All right. So We'll talk about some community statics. Apparently, I can't spell, so that's my first joke of the day. Sorry, guys. So, community statistics. So, in the past, we noticed during major announcements, we've had a large influx of new users. On September 20th, around 3 p.m. UTC, Gemini 2 Incentivized was started. And as expected, we did see a large influx of users. They started trickling in before, and they continue to grow. So,
just for time's sake, since Discord is our most active medium, I'll focus on that. So if you go to our next slide, please. Okay, so this is our total community, or total membership over time.
And this is specifically from the window of July 11th through October 3rd. Obviously, if you look towards September, when Gemini 2 was announced, we've had a pretty steady amount of community members. So it's been around 17K, a little over that. And as soon as Gemini 2 was announced, pretty much there was a pretty decent spike, close to 1,000 members, a little bit less than that joined. The last time we had an incentivized testnet, this was even a more significant spike. It was in the thousands. And I think that's just attributed to the current market. It's kind of encouraging to me to see that, when everything's still looking doom and gloom, people are still taking time to check out new projects. And this just continues to show Subspace's, I guess, innovation and how it retains interest in the community. So you can go to the next slide. So this one is even more important to me because, we had about 800,000 people join in a couple days, within a couple weeks. But if you can see the message count from a little bit before the testnet announcement to the testnet announcement month, it just exploded. It went from around a little over 4,000 to about 15,000, somewhere in between there. So that's 15,000 messages a day. We're trying to, actually it's for the month, I'm sorry. So each month we're getting about 15,000 messages we're trying to sort. Some people are just chatting, others are asking for help. So that's why we're continuing to grow the ambassador program and adding things like moderators and stuff like that. We can also see another thing, the voice activity, speaking minutes. Now, as you know, there's really not any voice channels except for our team members who are doing the office hours and how we did the community call last time on Discord. You can see there's a significant bump in speaking minutes. The team is really doing a great job, in my opinion, of engaging with the community, giving regular updates. It's very easy to get in the know in Subspace. All you got to do is once a week, just check on us, and we're usually doing something. So you can go to the next one, please. The last thing for me is the forum is going to be your best friend if you ever need help. It's going to be the Subspace Forum. We can drop another link again for people that want to check it out. But when you're in the Subspace Forum, if you need help, you can click on categories and support, or you can open a draft and just tag the support category. If you click any one of those support categories, it will automatically generate in your text box the template to fill out. Now, everybody might not know what each thing is asking or talking about. You might not even know the technical specs of your computer, and that's okay. If you just fill out as much as you can, it really helps us identify the problem and get back to you faster. It also helps others. If you just think about it, if you search Google, it usually pops up a forum and there's a post that just talks about that specific problem. And you don't have to sort through, tens of thousands of messages like you would on Discord or Telegram. So I encourage people to use the forum. That is especially where most of the team members lurk around. They're very on top of it. I have my email alerts. So if you message me or tag me or support L1, I see it and I try to respond as soon as possible. And next. So that's just what I was talking about. When you tag support, you'll see that prompt. The left side is where you type. The right side is just what it looks like, what it's going to look like when you post it. Okay. It's super simple. That's it. All right. And those are just the links I was talking about. Everybody pretty much has one. But if you don't, for whatever reason, please just tag me in the chat or just mention my name in the chat and I can post them for you. Okay. And that's all I have for support today. Thank you, Emil.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Mike. Yeah. I just thought I really want to do like one round of applause for all of the support team, because I think they're doing an incredible job with helping the community. And I see that pretty much all of the questions are always answered very quickly. So yeah, huge thank you to the support team.
Yeah, and I would just like to thank the support team in general that's always with me as well. I hope the community is recognizing the work they put in. There's some people that are literally on every single minute of every day, it seems like, translating, making content, just in general being there. Very hardworking people, so thank you guys for my support team.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, now it's time for Kingsley and Sully to share the updates and the leads responsible for the engagement, community engagement. So Kingsley, Sully, it's over to you guys.
All right, let's see. Kingsley, you're still muted. Now you're unmuted. There you go.
Yeah, and I'll just start the presentation. Kingsley, are you with us? Okay, let's maybe give them a bit of time. Maybe something went wrong on the internet connection. So while they're working on it, I can just share the updates from the content team because yeah, I'm the person responsible for the work on the content team. So I'll just share my small presentation with you. So yeah, one of the major things we've worked on last month was to release the guide, or more of a step-to-step tutorial on running Subspace Node and CLI on different platforms like Windows and Linux. And this guide also covered some of the major topics on how to create a wallet for both Subwallet and Polkadot.js, how to use a ledger, and of course, like a very detailed step-by-step instruction on running a node on different systems. And it's open for the community. It's open for everyone. And of course, if you know any ways of improving it, feel free to leave some comments to the Google Doc, because like the more people view it, the more people work on it, the better it will be for the whole community. So yeah, that was like one of the largest things we worked on in the last month, and it's a pretty huge, like 30-page document. So yeah, feel free to use it if you want to spin up your node. Some of the current activity includes writing and working on 2 articles. First, on leveraging cloud providers specific to a farmer region. So we're just covering what are the cloud providers for each of the regions. Are there, and how much would it cost to be running your node there, and what are the parameters that you want to choose. We're planning to release it pretty soon. And the second one is to compare farming rationale and return of investment between like a Subspace, or I would probably say like more to compare the ROI for proof of work protocols and proof of capacity, because there is a pretty huge difference, which I think is worth covering. And of course, since we're now onboarding new ambassadors and soon they will be ready to start their education, we probably need to adjust some of the existing materials to estimate is there any missing points in the existing materials. So we'll just go through the through all of the presentations and videos to see if there's anything we can add to it to make your educational progress even more interactive, even more interesting, and yeah, even more exciting. That's the plan for the content team. And I think Kingsley is back. Are you with us, Kingsley?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. All right, so I can give you the stage, and I'll just open your presentation, and yeah, it's over to you, Kingsley.
All right, I'm in communication. I think I had that relapse. So from Nigeria, I am one of, I think, presenting this with the moment. So I'll go ahead with the. I think our update is really concise. We have team for community. So our aim actually is the structure, the events, and the announcement, members, engagement team member. We our aim is to increase the engagement and participation of have everyone, the community engaged as much as possible over the meetings with lead ambassadors as well to get ideas, and some of the ambassadors get capture the games and design to as possible for the incentivized testnet. A couple of weeks ago, we had to this, and this we didn't want to have clash of, so we had to move some of the we would want to been very helpful with organizing the we still need ambassadors to event team, and we announced that one of our ambassadors the engagement team, and from next week, every community to put their eyes off on the announcement channels. Events coming up next week, and there are a lot of prizes to be won. Hang tight and stay cool. We are the engagement from the engagement team. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Kingsley.
Thanks, Kingsley.
Yeah, there is a lot of events that are going to happen for, and the engagement team is working really hard. So yeah, as Kingsley said, hang tight, and like a lot of them are going to happen in the closest future. Yeah, thanks
really
Kingsley.
quick to bounce off what Emil said, just for those that said they had some audio issues hearing him. Kingsley presents this to us, as all the leads do. We talk to each other about once a week. So just a quick summary, if you missed some of the things that he's saying, keep an eye out in the announcement channels next week. Kingsley and Salih, our two content ambassadors, are working on community engagement. Community engagement are working on ways to get just, your mind off crypto, but getting the community stronger, so you can see people that you are constantly friends with, or that you have like-mindedness. There's going to be some prizes they haven't revealed yet, and they're going to continue to try to improve this and do things like this in the future going forward. So next time we'll work on what we could do for the audio, but thank you for bearing with us, and thank you Kingsley and Salih for your hard work on the community engagement stuff. I know it's not easy to think of things like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, thank you, Mike. Okay, yeah, and now I'm happy to give the stage to Chris Morris and Kartavi. They are two crypto enthusiasts who are excited about Web3 technology and decided to create a useful website for the Subspace community. And they will show it to you and tell you what inspired them to work on it. So yeah, it's over to you guys.
So, hello everyone. Today I and my friend Chris Morris are going to show you a project that we've been working on for about 2 months now. First, let's start with an idea and why we think it will be a very useful product for the Subspace community. We wanted to create a website, a community blog that will contain Subspace Network articles in all original community language. This will be very useful for newbies who will come to our community and look for translate articles in their language if they don't understand English, example.
I'm sorry to chime in, but do you want to share your screen so it would be like easier for users to follow?
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, thanks.
I also linked it right below Emil again. You can see if you click on that link, it's now updated to their website, but they will be showing it in a second. I will switch it back to the Ambassador Forum link as well, in case somebody missed it after they present. In the meantime, while they're fixing that, Emil, last time I talked about how, I found out about Subspace. What's your story, if you don't mind telling us?
Yeah, of course. So I've been interested in researching other crypto projects like for quite a time now, and I would say probably as most of us we first encounter like some huge projects like Bitcoin or Ethereum, and then the more I learn about them, the more I realize that of course, yeah, you can probably easily be like an investor or like just buy some coins and try to hold them for some time. But it's very difficult to become a farmer, like to spin up your node, because the amount of equipment that you need to buy is huge and is really expensive. Yeah. So I started to research more and more different projects and learned more about different other like protocols, and that's where I learned that there is that the proof of work and proof of stake wasn't the only available consensus mechanism on the market, and started to do a bit more research about proof of capacity. And what fascinated me about it, that's if you have your PC, or I don't know, if you have any older hard drives, like it's available to you. You can just spin up your node and become a farmer right away. And of course, in that space, Subspace is probably one of the, if not the most interesting projects, because like with a lot of projects, other projects, there is always something that you're missing. For instance, like some of them are like taking a lot of the CPU resources. Some of them, they just don't have any applications at all. So you're just devoting some space, which is, and like it's pretty much like it is pretty much useless. But with the Subspace, it's just checked all of the checked everything for me. So it's like you're devoting your space, and it's not useful space. It's a proof of like useful space. And there is a great team behind the project. And yeah, the more and more research I did, the more excited I became about the project. And then of course, like with the atmosphere in the Discord, where you can talk to pretty much every team member, or like other ambassadors, it became more appealing to me to become a Subspace ambassador. So here I am. As I mentioned, I've been an ambassador for a lot of months now. I've been running a node constantly, and I'm super happy to be there, to be here, and to be part of the project. Yeah, awesome. That's about my story about the subspace.
Yeah, that's cool. Looks like Chris and Artavi have got their screen.
Yeah. Okay, guys, can you hear me? Yep.
Yep.
Sure can.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, hello everyone, and my name is Chris, and now you can see my screen. Yeah, and I present you Subspace Community Blog. This is a wonderful website. Yep. On the main page, you can see all official articles from Subspace Labs, and they are all sorted into categories: announcement, ecosystem updates, and R&D updates. So yeah, you can switch smoothly between them. And if you don't know English very well and want to see all the articles in Russian, for example, then you can switch the language in the website header right here. So we can click and know all articles in Russian. Yeah, this is amazing. It's the same with the rest of the language. Right now we have 6 languages. It's Russian, Polish, Ukrainian, Spanish, and Chinese. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Let's back to the main page. You can also go to the article and where you can see beautiful menu. On the side of the page, you can see other Subspace blogs you can click and all categories of the articles about Subspace with technology, ambassador program, and testnet. And of course, author of the article. And you can read article from Subspace. Yep, that's great. Actually, you can also switch the language in the article itself. So if you want to read it on Chinese, yep, you can switch and read it. That's great. And yeah, I think we have built a really great website for our community, and I believe Subspace community blog will be used by many people because of its convenience. Yeah, and now I give the floor to Kartavi, who will tell you about our roadmap. Kartavi, stage is yours.
Yeah, yes, thank you. One moment.
This is really cool.
Chris, can you share a table?
Of course, one moment.
Or did you kind of meet up on Discord and Subspace?
Yeah, we will meet up.
Yeah, the website is looking great, and I browsed it for a bit, and it looks so smooth, and like all of the animations, all the colors. So great job, guys.
Thank you, man. We really tried our best.
So guys, we have a table with translators, and we want to develop our site in future. And now I will tell you briefly about our plans on future. So firstly, we want to add all articles on all regional language. And if you speak in example Vietnamese, Korean, or Turkish, you can to translate articles and help us to develop a Subspace community blog. So our first goal is adding all articles on all regional language. Our second goal is adding documentation in all language. Yes, more people are interested in documentation than in articles. So our plan is to translate the documentation into all original language and put it on our site.
Yeah, that's good. And guys, if you have
It's all.
any questions about the project, you can ask them in the Q&A channel, chat. So, yeah.
Yeah,
We are
thank you
ready?
for the presentation, guys. Thank you, Chris, and thanks, Kartavi. I think that's a really impressive project.
I got a question
Any
for you
volunteers
guys.
so far? Maybe someone is excited to work on the translation or to help guys to improve their website.
Yeah. You guys did have a question in the chat, and then I have a question. There was a user, I don't know her Discord name is, maybe, and she wants to post it, but her name's Elena. She was saying she has Ukrainian articles translated, and wondering if she could help in some way. If you guys don't have those yet. But if you do, maybe she could still help anyway. So you guys want to link up. And then my question for you guys is, have both of you applied for the ambassador program? And are you planning to?
Yeah, of course. We will apply to the ambassador program. We still don't do it because form and form ends in 20 at October 20. Yep, am I right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we have a lot of time to fill out this form, and we will do it.
Great. We'd be happy to have you, especially with this great work. The thing is, great job, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Besides that, it doesn't look like there's any questions for them, Emil. Yeah, so thank you guys for all your hard work.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So and now it's time to answer your questions. So if you have any other questions about the project, about ambassador program, or pretty much any question, you can just type it in the chat or in the Q&A section, and we'll be happy to answer your question. And we have representatives of the Subspace here with us today as well. So yeah, feel free to ask questions and address your questions to them as well.
Yeah. I guess I'll toss them at you, Emil, and some of them have already been answered, but I guess it'll probably be good practice just to repeat it, maybe for people that missed it, or these are the most upvoted questions. So just a reminder for everyone: if you look on the right-hand side of Crowdcast, for the most part, depending on what browser you're in, there's a chat, and then right below it, there's a chat box that looks like a question mark. If you click on that, you can either look at all the questions that have been asked and upvote them, or you can ask your own question. And those are the ones we'll be going off of, just because it's a bit easier to read there, and you can individually comment on each question. So with that being said, Emil, the first question, and I guess we can just ping pong back and forth if you like, but first question is, when will new ambassadors be onboarded?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So the form is open until October 20th, and we'll probably need about 2 weeks or maybe a week to go through all of the applications and to select the prospective apprentice ambassadors. Then there will be a stage where we'll be making some interviews. So we'll be scheduling interviews with the apprentice ambassadors, with the potential apprentice ambassadors. And then we'll have a selection. So it shouldn't take longer than 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks after the form was closed, each and every one of the applicants will have the decision. So if they were selected to become an apprentice ambassador or not. And after that, there will be some period when the new apprentice ambassadors will start their education. Each of the ambassadors is usually assigned to one of the existing ambassadors. So they have a mentor, and they can always reach out to them, ask their questions, and work together on and learn about the project together. And this process of education, of like onboarding process, as we call it, usually takes about 5 to 6 weeks.
Very cool. Thank you for that answer. Hopefully that answers that person's questions. It was Ebenezer that asked that question. So He also asked
really good question.
another question. I guess I'll take this one. Said, is there something different the project is bringing to the blockchain space? I would say so. I'm trying to answer this as simply as possible. If you think about Subspace as a layer one, which technically it would be, it'll be able to have smart contracts. It has its own storage, its own state, stuff like that. But then if you kind of try to think of it as almost the way that Polkadot does things, where Polkadot is its own blockchain, but it provides a utility and a service for other blockchains, if that makes sense. So technically, it's the term layer zero is something that's been popping up now. It's kind of like infrastructure. If you think of how a house is built, there's a foundation and then you build things on top of it. Well, the foundation might be a layer one. I think a layer zero you could even describe as like the earth below it. It's something even below that, or a basement or something like that, you know? So Subspace in a way is like that. There's a lot of things that are upcoming that I know the team's going to talk about. They're probably not going to be able to talk today, but it'll either be an office hours call or something like that, and you'll hear from Jeremiah or Wei, Nizar, one of those gentlemen. And but essentially, Subspace is a layer zero, you know, in a simple sense. One of the ways that it provides that is by providing storage for other blockchains. As you've seen before, the way the project started by backing up networks like Kusama, you know, they're already showing that it can be done with their platform. And now the Gemini testnet is working on making sure all that information and data is being stored correctly without any manipulation. And yeah, so in that aspect, a lot of projects, they're kind of, you know, when they build on to a blockchain, and that blockchain has to develop in a certain way, but Subspace is trying to provide a utility for the layer one blockchains while being a layer one itself. So there's a lot more to it, but hopefully that kind of answered it in an easier way or a simpler way. So thank you for that question.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. I think that was really nice explanation. Yeah, good job.
Okay, let's get another one for you. Let's see here. We did ambassadors. So the next question is kind of hard to say, but maybe if you want to talk about just what, in my opinion, makes projects successful, and that's the team and the infrastructure. So the question was, with this current market situation, can you confidently say that your project will be successful? How come?
I can give my perspective on it. It's not necessarily like the way the Subspace team sees it, but that's the way I see it, at least. So I don't think that like they're following the market. So it doesn't matter like how the market looks, and I don't know how other crypto projects are doing. It's not Subspace is not about that. So the project was started to develop in like 2017, as far as I remember. It was before the bull run, and at that time, not a lot of people were interested in crypto projects in general. So like the demand or like the amount or the crowd was much less than it is today. So the project started as there was a really good idea of making a great decentralized storage for the Web3. It's not where it is today, but at least it's where it started. So at that time, of course, like that decision of going into that direction, it wasn't affected by the market. It wasn't affected by, I know, the prices of the coins, but it was mostly driven by the interest in development in that regard. And as of today, the project developed a lot. It's no longer being positioned as just a decentralized storage, but it's like a layer zero modular blockchain. And it's open to the public. It's permissionless. It's grown pretty fast, and it's basically it will be one of the most scalable project probably ever to exist so far, because like there is no compromises. And I don't know. I feel like the project is never about the market. It's more about the idea, about the community, about the farmers. And that's how, at least how I see Subspace.
Yeah.
So nothing is really affecting the project, but us as farmers and people who are like sharing their ideas and who helps to shape the subspace. So like what the future of the project is really depends a lot on us as ambassadors and on the community.
Yeah, I think that was a fantastic answer, Emil. I kind of feel the exact same way. You know, a lot of the times projects are about the token first and then the actual project is an afterthought. And me personally, I don't think that's the way to be successful. So Subspace, the way that it's kind of just, for lack of better terms, just putting their head down and working on improving the actual utility in the blockchain has been really impressive. So you know, there's nothing certain in the world and people need to understand that, but you can see when things are going well and you can see when foundation is being laid right. And that's just why I just completely agree with Emil. So thanks for that answer, Emil. That was a great one.
Yeah, really good question. Very interesting to elaborate on it.
Yeah. All right. So our next question is going to be, do you plan any community involvement? And I guess I should prep Kingsley before I leave him. But Kingsley, if you're still available here, this will be a good question for you because you already pretty much answered it, but you can chime in again. And there was some audio problems, so I'll kind of do a quick, I'll do a quick one here because we have about 10 minutes left on this session, and then it'll be over. So, do you plan any community involvement apart from the testnet and the ambassador program, like some contests, for example? So as Kingsley, he's presenting earlier, we have a specific ambassador wing that is just dedicated to community involvement. If you have something you would like to suggest, you could tag Kingsley. It'll be easier to tag him. He's Kumzi. I can post that in the general chat later, just so it's easier to see. Or you can tag lead ambassador. If you tag lead ambassador, Kingsley and Salih will see it. So if you have something you want to do, a game night or anything you like to suggest, please tell them because they've been racking their brains thinking of whatever they can do to make some engagement for our community. So yeah, that's it for that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Mike, for coming through on that. I think you actually said everything. We have a lot of games that is in the pipeline for the community. It's not something that, you know, if we give the full details, then it will come as a surprise, you know. So we're keeping it as is. But if you have any other ideas, you can always, like Mike said, you can always tag me on our Discord channel, and I'll always be there to respond. Thank you. We have a lot of things planned. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that with Kingsley, Salih, and now Skylar on board, they will come up with really good ideas for the community. So yeah, stay tuned, and there are more events to come for sure.
Great. So there's a couple questions left. I don't know if you want to handpick one because this is going to be our last question. We have about 9 minutes left in the crowdcast session. So just to give you enough time to wrap it up and talk about crowdcast and whatnot, I would just like to direct people to the right-hand side as well while Emil's talking and finishing up. There's a poll just talking about how your crowdcast experience went. This is our first time using it. We had some bumps in the road with Discord, so we just want to know, you know, if you like it, if you don't like it, or if you're not sure right now and would like to try again. So thank you.
Yeah, we'll be really curious to see your opinion on that. From my end, at least I can say that I think it's pretty smooth, and I like the experience, at least from the hosting and moderation perspective. But let's see how it is for our end users. Okay, yeah. So let's maybe just pick one of the questions that are left in the Q&A. And let's maybe go with the unique Nikki question. So his question is, what influences speed of farming? How to contribute and farm more? Yeah, that's an interesting question. There's definitely a few aspects that influence the speed of your farming. Of course, like one of the main factors is your network speed. So the better your network is, it is easier for your node to synchronize with some other nodes. And secondly, like the type of the drive that you're using. So whether it's a solid state drive, a hard drive, or a flash drive, of course, like depending on your write and read speeds, like the speed of plotting will like either decrease or increase. And depending on the network quality, like you'll see a change with the in the amount of the other connected nodes. So it will also affect your synchronization speed. I would probably say that the plan for these testnet is not necessarily to farm more. It wouldn't really change a lot to you, but it's more about having your node up and running for longer times. And eventually you will see that the longer you have your node running correctly, like the more rewards you'll see. Because in Gemini 2, what we're testing is like, is your node is constantly online? Is there's any network issues? So we're just testing the load on the network. So the main and the most important factor is to stay online and keep it running. Yeah, any other maybe comments on that, like Mike or any member of the support team?
No, I think you did a great job of answering that. It would just be me repeating stuff. So thank you.
Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, I think that was the last questions for tonight, as we are running closer to an hour now. I really want to say that thank you to all who joined and listened to us live, or who will be watching the recording later. I'm really happy and excited to see the community grow, and to see that like we'll have now